we were both single, and neither one of us had any reason to celebrate Valentine's Day. And yet here we were meeting for the first time on Valentine's Day. And I felt like that was the universe really saying, yes,
If you'll allow me a couple of questions about Modern
yes,
Family, even though
yes.
I know your career is so much bigger than that. But it was such an important show. And as well as being important, obviously it was vastly entertaining and it was funny and it was moving and it was just all of the things that you want.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you how important it was for you personally, portraying, I think it was one of the first times, if not the first time, that a network had put a long-term committed gay couple with a kid like on primetime TV. How important was that for you?
I think you're right. At least in the sense of a comedy. I don't know if it had been done in a drama, but I think, you know, yeah, when you meet Cam and Mitch in the very first episode of Modern Family, we're coming back from adopting our child. So you're being dropped right into the deep end of this relationship. I mean, they're not only a long time committed couple, but they are now first time parents. And that's where we're starting with them. So there was so much comedy, not just around, who they were as people, but also something that was incredibly relatable. It's like who they were as first-time parents. And I love that that's kind of where we led. The comedy was really about them trying to figure out how to be parents. And then of course the hysterics and the comedy behind that and just them being who they are. But when I read the script of Modern Family, I knew immediately that this would be an opportunity for visibility for the gay community. At that time in the States, I think there was maybe 6 states where you could be married as a same-sex couple. And we were also in the throes of Proposition 8 had just happened in California, which took rights away from same-sex couples. So rights have been revoked in my own home state that I was living in at that time. And so it was a very hot button topic. And being a part of Modern Family felt like, okay, the easiest, I mean, the most surefire way to reach people is through pop culture and through their TVs right now. Like we will be in so many people's living rooms across America. And it's such a great opportunity to let people get to know a gay couple and fall in love with them. And sure enough, that is what happened. And I do know that because I ended up going with my husband to talk with congressmen and senators and DC, and we talked to many people about trying to obtain marriage equality, and we were Barack Obama, who was the president at the time, we actually got to talk to him about it, and things were happening, things were moving, but almost all of them referenced Modern Family as being a really important part of that movement. So again, my instincts were correct that this was going to be something that was a pop culture touchstone for many people. And, for me, the challenging thing was how to do the job and not buckle under that pressure. Eric and I both felt extreme pressure at different times, and we had to relieve ourselves of that and remind ourselves, first and foremost, we're here to make people laugh, and that's our objective. And if they take something else away with that, then that's great. I had a little bit of an extra pressure on me just because not only was I part of this gay couple on television, but in real life, I was the one who was living as a gay man. So I felt like there was a lot of expectations from the community put on my shoulders, and I had to relieve myself of that and say, my job is to make this one person really relatable and really truthful. I can't be in charge of the entire community. I'm in charge of this man. And once I sort of took that pressure off of myself to be the voice for an entire community, I think I was able to sort of breathe into that character in a different way.
Eric, who you mentioned there, who played Cam, is straight.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder what you think now, because times really have shifted and evolved, about straight actors playing gay. I mean, Eric's not the only one. There's your Matt Damons, there's your Jake Gyllenhaals. What do you think about that now?
Man. And once I sort of took that pressure off of myself to be the voice for an So I think that's always been a conversation that has been had. I think the social media, it's more amplified now, and that it catches a little more quickly. People who are upset with that casting have a bit more of a voice, and that's heard a little bit more widely. I've talked with Eric about this, and I think, no, I mean, I know he feels that he would not, if Modern Family was being cast today, he probably wouldn't be as heavily considered as he was, you know, almost 15 years ago when they were first casting the show. I mean, when people ask me this question, I always consider it, and I've sort of I've been modifying the way I've answered it, but the thing that sort of has stayed consistent is that I did read with several actors. I was cast before Eric was, and I read with several different actors to play Cam, and many of them were gay, some of them were straight. I read with people of different colors and different ethnicities, and Eric was the one who brought a real spark to that relationship. And at the end of the day, they needed to cast someone who had chemistry with me, who they had already, decided that was going to be playing the role of Mitchell. Mitchell was a harder role to cast. He had to also look like the son of Jay and the brother of Claire. So I think they cast that family unit first, and then the spouses sort of came later. And so there was no denying that Eric and I had chemistry, and there was like already an undercurrent of love there. And when I think about like the way the universe rewards you and tells you you're doing the right thing, I think back to my first meeting with Eric outside of our audition. When he got the role, we decided to meet and get to know one another since we're going to be playing, spouses. And we met for coffee at a coffee shop near me in Silver Lake, and there was all these people around us with boxes of chocolates and roses, and we realized it was Valentine's Day. We were both single, and neither one of us had any reason to celebrate Valentine's Day, and yet here we were meeting for the first time on Valentine's Day, and I felt like that was the universe really saying, yes, you two are meant to be together. It's meant to be you. I don't think if you ask people, well, who would play Cam if you were recasting it today, I don't think anyone would ever be able to get Eric's interpretation of that character out of their heads. He was Cam, and he made me who I was in that show. And the one thing that was really celebrated consistently through all 11 seasons of that show is how great the chemistry was between all of us. So, when people are asking me now, like, what do you think about straight actors playing gay? I think, there needs to be a better job of looking for places for that opportunity to be given. I think people need to be able to get into the door in an easier way. I think there's still a struggle for gay and trans actors to get inside the room to even show what they can do. I think sometimes these decisions are made hastily, and I think roles are being given to straight actors who they think are going to be a box office bet, or they're going to be better for the box office, and they're going to be a more surefire thing. I think that the roles are handed out a little bit more casually, and I think the opportunity is not always there. And I do feel, for me saying I only want gay actors playing gay roles, it's a complete contradiction to like what I want in my life. I don't want to just be seen as gay characters. I would love to play straight roles, and I don't want to. I can't say only straight actors should play straight roles and the gay actors play gay roles, because that's not what I believe. I'm an actor. I could play different parts, and I still truly believe that. But I do think that the industry could do a better job of finding opportunity for these people to be a more surefire thing.
That makes total sense. I mean, you could play a rabbit. That's what we started off this conversation with.
That's right.
Final question before we get on to your failures. Modern Family, the clue is in the title. You did become a family of sorts. And I really love your podcast, Dinner's on Me, and I particularly love it when you interview your former co-stars from Modern Family, because there is such a special dynamic. And Modern Family came to an end just before the pandemic hit. And I just wonder what that experience of isolation was like, having spent so much time with these beloved people every single day, and whether you're still in touch with them now. Do you have a family WhatsApp group?
We do.
Do you?
Yeah.
What's it called?
I think it's just called, we have Modern Family Adults, like it's just the 6 adults. And then there's a whole group one as well. And sometimes Sarah Hyland, she's she is an adult, but she's technically one of the kids on the show. She's sneaked her way into some of the adult conversations. Um, but yeah, I mean, that last season of Modern Family, season 11, was sort of a bonus season for us. We were prepared to finish it season 10, and then the opportunity was given to us to continue. So we all wanted to do one more season and really truly make it our last, but then enjoy that last season knowing that it was going to be our last.
I hope you enjoyed that video. Be sure to check out the full episode of How to Fail wherever you get your podcasts, and also make sure you're following us on social media for all the latest updates.